What's up, everybody? We are back. We're here looking at the 112, the last pick of the first round in Dynasty rookie drafts. We're excited. It's April 26th, basically 24 hours. What is it, 26 hours until the draft technically starts? As always, joined by my father, Jeff, our brother. My brother's not here, your son. He'll be back in future videos. Dad, excited for the draft tomorrow?
Absolutely. It's last week or so have been excruciating. It's like having a sore tooth, man, and finally getting rid of it here starting tomorrow.
Yeah, you hear all these like new S2 testing and placing the Wonderlicks, and this guy's no good at it, and blah,
This
blah,
guy's
blah.
a dummy, and this guy is too short, and this guy's arms are too didn't give up a sack in college and dominated as an offensive tackle, but his arms are too short, to play NFL. So,
yeah, and it is a draft, though. I would say, like, we don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, I think we know Bryce Young's going number one, but then there was the betting markets changed because of a Reddit thread of someone saying, "Oh, I know Will Levis," and he told me he's going to the Panthers or something. And so it's just like, that was enough to change the market, the betting market. And I don't know, man, it's crazy. We don't know what's going to happen after pick one, really. But do you have a bold prediction, Dad, of maybe something happening in the first round that you don't expect, or, something happening or not happening in the first round?
Yeah. So I think somebody's going to jump up. If a quarterback does not go, and there's a couple things that got to happen, but so if a quarterback doesn't go for number 2 for the Texans, and they take a defensive guy, Will Anderson or Jalen Carter or something like that, somebody is going to jump up to the Cardinals at number 3, and I think that might be the Titans. Tennessee Titans
taking Stroud.
Yeah, I think the Titans would jump up, pay a fortune, and CJ Stroud would be available, and there would, and the Cardinals are going to get a big draft haul, of picks and all that other stuff. So that's what I think's going to happen.
Yeah, I can see that. It's kind of crazy, like, if you're the Texans or Texans fan, of just like, when are you can't assume you're going to be back here next year, top 2 picking Caleb Williams or Drake May. Like, you got to assume you're at least going to win 4 or 5 games, and that's going to push you to not be able to draft one of these guys unless you're planning on tanking. This is like, literally, these are fireable moves. Like, if you don't take a quarterback and that quarterback turns out to be really good, you're done. Your GM career is done. The head coach is linked to the GM. Like, you're kind of done, right? It's pretty ballsy. I mean, if you don't believe in them, but the fact that not only are you not going to take a quarterback, but you're not going to trade back as well. I don't know. There's something. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen that way. Like, either they're going to trade out or they're going to take a quarterback. So, or else people might be getting fired. But anyways, we're not going to speculate too much about that, because, again, the draft's in 26 hours, and we'll all know in about 27 hours what Houston had done, 26 and a half. We're going to talk about the 112. If you haven't watched any previous videos, our 112 has basically gone, or 1 through 11 has basically gone. Of course, Bijan's number 1, and then we had Stroud, Young, and Richardson kind of going the next 3 picks, whatever order you want. Then we kind of thought probably JSN should go 5, and then 6. We said Levis, especially if he's getting first round draft capital, top 5 draft capital. Even if you don't kind of like him as a player, you kind of have to take him between 6, 7, or 8. In our opinion, Jahmyr Gibbs should kind of go in that range as well. And Hendon Hooker, assuming he gets first round draft capital and goes to a good team. We mentioned last video that there was a mock having the Chiefs taking Hooker, the 31st overall pick. And that would be a place we're not super excited about if he goes there, because you're not going to be starting over Mahomes. There's no chance unless he gets hurt. And then in our 9-10, we kind of said this is probably where the next group of wide receivers are going to be going. Addison should probably go, and then Flowers or Quentin Johnston, whoever you like more. And then the 11, we had different options. We'd set Addison, Flowers, Johnson, 9, 10, 11. So one of those three guys going 11th. And then potentially these tight ends. Yeah. Michael Mayer and Dalton Kincaid. Dad, you still kind of feel the same, the 112, you're just kind of, both tight ends are there. Are you taking either one, or are you taking your favorite one? Or what if someone takes, let's say you like Kincaid more and someone takes him, are you still thinking about taking Michael Mayer, or are you going to move on to?
Yeah. As I've previously said, I do like those two tight ends. I've watched videos of them, and I know a lot of the videos, and I've tried to read, what Pro Football Focus their breakdown of these guys and stuff like that, and when you watch their videos, of course, most of them are good plays, so you're not, they look the real deal, I think the Michael Mayer, one of them looks like, I said, man, that looks like George Kittle down the field. It could have been Kincaid, I think. Yeah. I know he had a big game versus USC, but again, I just have to see what team they go to, and there is teams that really need tight ends. They have they kind of have second tier people, or they've lost their tight ends in free agency, which I know Green Bay did, but so definitely if one of those two tight ends is available at this spot, and if the tight ends are gone, I can't imagine that they'd be gone.
Yeah, not both of them.
Yeah, you got to start looking. You got to start digging a little deeper, and
so are you kind of? So let's say Johnston's here. So let's say it goes. Pick 9 is Addison. Pick 10 is Flowers. Pick 11 is your favorite tight end. So let's just say Kincaid. Now, so basically, it's coming down to like Quentin Johnston or Michael Mayer. Are you taking Mayer over Johnston?
Yeah, I think I would. I'm not thrilled about Quentin Johnson, and I'm not thrilled about him producing in his rookie year. So, I know I've said this 100 times. What team is he on and things like that, and it's too bad we can't. We don't have the option of watching these guys in training camp and preseason games and stuff like that, and then do our dynasty rookie draft. That's not what dynasty's about. We got to make that evaluation. Got to make that evaluation now, or here in the next few weeks when a lot of dynasty drafts happen. So, but
yeah. I think they should too. No, I was just gonna say I think it's good to have your dynasty drafts after, a week or two after the NFL draft. I like a little bit of a spacing there, just so like trades can happen to kind of foster more trading in your leagues. Give everyone, I know some people. So the draft ends on Saturday. They're doing their rookie mock drafts Monday. Give people like at least a week to kind of like, okay, we know landing spots. Now I'm going to try to trade some picks. Or trade for players or things like give people a week of that and then start the rookie mock draft. But definitely, I think, a couple of weeks. Yeah, we don't get to see them in preseason and potential injuries and things like that. So it is unfortunate. But so you think Quentin Johnston he's kind of out of the first round for you in your dynasty rookie drafts?
I think so, on a 12-rounder, especially a 10-round, a 10-rounder, a 10-team league. Yeah, take him in the second round.
Okay.
And again, I'm just thinking about who's going to be producing, and I would hope my first round rookie pick, I could get something out of him his rookie year.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's always exceptions to that. I mean, like Jameson Williams is one of those exceptions of like you kind of knew you weren't getting anything his first year, but the talent is good enough. So I'd probably take Johnston if he's there. Though I would take Johnston if he's there at the 112. If he's gone, I'm fine with one of the tight ends. Which one, Kincaid or Mayer? We'll see where they get drafted. I think Kincaid's maybe for fantasy. Kincaid's has a brighter future. Mayer for just like an overall better tight end, I think is probably true. And then in like last video, we talked about like a Zach Charbonnet. If he gets like second round draft capital and goes to a team like the Dolphins, goes to a team like the Bengals, even like a team like the Eagles in the second round, any of those teams really, like I'd be very excited about that. And potentially I would take him. I think I'd take Charbonnet over one of the tight ends if that was my choice. Charbonnet or one of the tight ends, and Charbonnet goes to one of those teams in the second round. I'd probably take that. I forget if the Eagles even have a second round pick, but I think they do. Yeah, they do. And then another guy, we talked about a quarterback as well. Like if there's a quarterback that goes in the second round, the sixth quarterback off the board, a Tanner McKee, a Jake Hayner, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, which has been getting a lot of hype lately. Like if one of those quarterbacks goes to a team in the second round, like the Lions, like the Buccaneers, that's pretty exciting. Or, if the Vikings somehow make their way back into the second round and draft one of them, like those, I think those are pretty exciting prospects there that I would, in a super flex league, think about taking. Again, you're not going to get anything out of the first year, but I think with quarterbacks you can kind of you can make that sacrifice a little bit just because they're so valuable. Another guy I want to ask you, Dad, is Josh Downs. He's the North Carolina receiver, small guy, kind of projected to be like a slot guy. He's getting a lot of hype lately. I've heard the Bills potentially are interested in him at pick 27 in the first round. Let's say that happens. Does that push him over one of those tight ends for you? Knowing he's going to the Bills with first round draft capital.
Yeah, I would. That would be a consideration for sure. I know that guy. He had a lot of catches last year in college. He's got a pretty good quarterback there. Will be coming out next year, and so the volumes there. There's a lot of tape on him and stuff like that, and he is one of these slot guys that the Bills didn't. You could see last year at the end of the year, the Bills, they even brought back Cole Beasley. Trying
John Brown and
they were trying to get that slot guy back into the offense and stuff like that. So to me that would definitely would be something I would look at. Josh Downs and playing the slot, the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
definitely.
You think about the Bills, like they have Diggs and who else that you can bank on that's going to be like that number 2 guy. They have Gabe Davis, who's, he's a 4th round pick going into his 4th year now, and he's never had more than 850 yards. He had a good season last year, not anywhere near what we thought. He seems to be more like a deep threat guy, not a consistent second option. You have Khalil Shakir, who was a rookie last year, but he was a 5th round pick, and he was a 5th round pick for a reason. I think Isaiah McKenzie's probably still there, but like they don't really have that second guy. So I'm really intrigued by who the Bills take with their first round pick. If they take a tight end or receiver, I'm going to be very interested in that player for sure.
I heard a rumor about Jahmyr Gibbs for the Bills.
Yeah, and he could be like that second option.
Yeah, because basically their main guy right now. I know they got Damian Harris but James Cook, and James Cook is not a high volume running back, of course. So there definitely needs to be another running back there. It's also was it Neem Hines, but
Liam Hines, yeah. They didn't use him as like a. They kind of they used him more as like a kick returner, punt returner, which he has value in. But I was a little surprised. I thought he was going to get a lot more usage when he got traded to the Bills, in their passing game, but he didn't. But they seem to be looking for someone. Yeah, he only had 6 carries with the Bills and 5 catches.
That's not much.
Liam Hines, yeah. So, but yeah, that'd be interesting for sure. But going into just some trade values again, we're big supporters of trading these late round picks, probably starting from like this year at least, from like the 109 on. If you can trade that pick for an established player that you know what you're going to get with them, or or even an older player that could still be top notch for another year, we're all for that. Assuming you're a competing team, assuming you earn this pick, meaning you finished as one of the top 4 teams or whatever, we're all for that. Yeah. So like for me, there's a few trades that have happened. The 112 for Christian Kirk, 112 for Jameson Williams, a little different. I would do it because I still think the potential for Jameson's there. But 112 for Christian Kirk, Dad, would you do that?
No. It's close, but I'm just gonna say no, and I could go either way with it, but I gotta, I can't waffle on it. I would say no.
Yeah, see, this is a move that I personally would make in a heartbeat if I'm a competing team, because I know what I'm going to get with Christian Kirk. He's going to give me 900 to 1,100 yards. Hopefully, he's going to give me 7 to 9 touchdowns, with like 70, 80 catches, right? And that's if any of these rookie receivers do that, drafted here, if any of them do that this year, I'm going to be very shocked. If anyone even turn into that for their careers, is kind of like it's less than a 50% chance, right? If a Johnston, if a Josh Downs turn into those kind of players, it's going to be like a less than 50% chance. So I'm taking that. What about 112 for Calvin Ridley, Dad? Would you do that?
If I wouldn't do it for Kirk, I'm probably definitely not going to do it for Calvin Ridley right now.
I mean, people are excited about Ridley.
Yeah, it could be this year's Gabe Davis. All the hype's going to be there, but the guy hasn't played The guy hasn't played football in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get it.
It's just too much. I can get somebody at 112 who's going to do something.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest difference between like the Ridley and the Gabe Davis thing is Ridley had a monster year in 2020, basically his last season that he played. 1,300, almost 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, 90 catches. Like he's shown he was a first-round receiver. He was taken in the first round, so he's shown like he's capable. But I do agree, like 2020 is 3 years ago now. Like he played in 2021 for 5 games, and then it's been basically over almost 2 years since the last time we'll have seen him, when we see him again on the football field. So I'm more inclined to take the Kirk there for sure. What about straight up for Cooper Kupp?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
112 for Cooper Kupp. Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. And then one more that we'll get to. We're also big proponents of like, if you could just move back a draft spot, move back from the 112 to the 202. So you're moving back to, there's only one pick basically you're moving back. There's 2 picks technically, but and then you can pick up like a late second rounder if someone's willing to do that because they really want someone at the 112. I'm okay with it because, again, there's a few guys I like here. If Josh Downs is there, Quentin Johnston's there, Michael Mayer's there, Dalton Kincaid's there, Zach Charbonnet, there's 5 guys, potentially 4 or 5 guys I named that are going to be there. So then if I like all those guys, why not move back 2 spots, pick up an extra pick, and then take whoever's there when I'm picking at the 202. Dad, I think you're kind of a fan of that too.
Yeah, I think so. You should be able to, if you're within 2, 3, maybe even 4, you're only moving those many draft choices, moving down, and then you're picking something else up. So say, sure, why not? Let's let's kind of roll the dice and see what happens.
Yeah, and that's definitely something you should be looking at throughout your whole draft. Hopefully you do slow drafts, so you get 8 hours or 12 hours to pick. And basically what that means is like you can do it in draft. And so you get to your 112 and you're like, oh yeah, there's 3-4 guys I like. Let me try to move back to the 3rd or 4th, move back 3 or 4 picks, still get a guy I really like and pick up something. It's really good strategy, I think. It gives you more dart throws, which, the more dart throws you have, the more chances you have that you hit on someone. So, but yeah, I think we're gonna finish up there. I'm gonna make a bold prediction, very bold prediction. First round, only 2 receivers are gonna go in the first round. That's my bold prediction. 2 receivers are taken in the first round, JSN and someone else. And I think that's going to change a lot of Dynasty rookie drafts because of that. So, but anyways, we're going to finish up. Again, the draft is coming. We'll be back looking at we'll do like a recap, probably me and Brian. We'll do a recap of round 1, maybe Friday morning. And then maybe Friday evening, we'll record a recap of day 2, depending on how late it goes. And then we'll probably be back like Monday looking at the whole draft, the draft as a whole, and maybe doing some more rookie mock drafts. So as always, thanks for watching, and like the video, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.